Hi, I'm Joseph McDonald, the founder of KILT BEARD CO, and this is the KILT BEARD CO Weekend Flex. Today we're going to discuss a prisoner share, and we'll do a wrist check, and I'll talk about my MoonSwatch that I'm wearing, the mission to Saturn. Also, what your beard says about you, and a beard ingredient spotlight. And then I'll throw in a story time about my third coldest day of my life. So this is my second take right now. I've already cracked the bottle. I'll try to put a video up here on the corner. I've been really trying to rid this gurgle that's been in my recordings, and I think it was quick time and something with the echo of a speaker and whatnot. So that's what I'm going with right now, and hopefully this will all work. And so prisoner share. By the way, cheers. Happy weekend. As you can see, very attractive person who's in shackles, old school, back in the Wild West days. And this bottle is a blend of straight whiskeys finished in the Prisoner Red Blend wine barrels. This is batch number 23, looks like an H01. 51% alcohol by volume. And the back reads the prisoner share. The act of the painting is about one heart telling another heart where he found salvation by Francisco Goya. And this the notes of this whiskey is described as a distinctive blend of aged straight rye and straight bourbon whiskeys finished in the Prisoner Red Blend wine barrels to highlight the sophisticated notes of raspberry jam, toasted mahogany, creme brulee, black pepper, cherry cola, and French oak spice character. Decadent, indulgent, and unforgettable. So, first thing when I get this up to the nose, I do get the cherry cola really comes to mind for me, maybe because I like cherry cola. A little bit. I get the black pepper. And I don't get distinctively a mahogany or creme brulee. I think it's kind of a combination. I don't even know what you would call that. I do not really get the raspberry jam in there. Maybe that will build up over time here. And the pepper, yeah, there's a dash of pepper in there. So overall, very complex whiskey. And I think that's what they're really going for. This is retails here in Utah. And if you can get it at retail for $180, try to get that for you, $180. And this was a really interesting story to get this bottle. So if you've been following my social media, you may have seen in a reel me driving up in a snowstorm and standing in line to get a bottle. So that bottle was, I believe they call it High West Valley Tan, or Tan. Valley, one of the two. And it was a 2014 allotment that I guess they found a few cases. And there was 70 bottles exactly, and I got that email the day prior. I was like, let's go up there and get this one of, and we got up there about 20 minutes early, and I was at number 81. So this is my constellation. It's a good constellation, and because, the other note that I've heard is that the prisoner share will be discontinued this year after this. and I believe that this would be a great inclusion to anybody's whiskey, bourbon, spirits collection. Is it worth $180? I think for the process of it, yes. Do I think it's better than Midnight Winter Dram that goes for, I believe, 125, 130 here? I believe it's better than that. So have you tried Prisoner Share? And if so, what do you like about it? Have you had it like for many years? I was just showing this bottle last year, and this year I got my chance to get one. I actually got two. So I have one up here behind me, and then I have this one right here to try. And I think it'd be a real crowd pleaser. I think it's a more of a wintry drink, or a more wintry sip. I would even say that. But a little bit about, I guess you could say, the High West, if you haven't known. So Dakota and myself, which you can see on Sundays, a cup with Joe and Dakota, we went up to High West Distillery. I think it was in October, November time, and I took a walk around their distillery. It's very modern, which is kind of cool. I'm trying to get out to Kentucky this fall and really check out the older distilleries. But for a modern distillery, they really have this thing looking really aesthetically beautiful. And as for the pictures, as you can see, it looks really good. And you really get to see the process. It's pretty clean cut what the process is. And it was just a very enjoyable Sunday when we went up there. Quiet, got the whiskey tasting. We tried a bunch of the drams, the Midnight Winter Dram. Going all the way back, I think we tried the second or third one. Second one, I think. The first one was I think it was $60 for a shot, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on that one. But yeah, so High West has been around for less than 2 decades. It started in 2006 by David Perkins and his wife Jane, and they were biochemists who basically went to Kentucky, walked around the distillery, and really just walked away with the idea of, like, hey, we can do this. Like, it's all about chemicals and bacteria and the I want to call it bioengineer. That's not the right way to say it. The biology of the grass, or the corn if you're going on the bourbon side. So all those things, they were really in tune with that, and that everything just clicked for them. So they opened up the High West in 2006. It was the first distillery since 1870 in Utah. And a fun fact, to get out of prohibition for the United States, Utah in 1933 cast the 36th vote to end prohibition. And their quote is, "No other state shall take away this glory from Utah," which is kind of funny because in reverse, we're one of the, I want to say driest, we're one of the more regulated states in the union when it comes to alcohol. So it's kind of funny. Also, in 2009, Park City High West Saloon opens up, as you see in the picture right here. This is where I got this bottle. It's their hub where you can either eat, try the drinks, and you can purchase the bottles or apparel. And it's a really cool little cozy Midwestern-y kind of vibe. So it's really cool if you've ever up in Park City, or you plan to go to Park City, you should check it out for sure. Then, like I was saying, when we went to the distillery and the expansion of the distillery, High West Distillery on Blue Sky opens. So it marks the beginning of the new High West era, where now they have the capacity, as I was told through the tour, they make over 3 million bottles a year for their whole entire lineup, and it looks like they're going to be expanding too. I heard that they're going to be coming with some kind of bourbon that has organic blue corn in it. It's kind of like a hush hush secret. It's about 2 to 3 years out, it sounded like, but definitely keeping my eyes open. I would sign up for their email list just to, get those updates that you may be the first one in, and who knows, it might be a limited go, and you want to get on top of that. But yeah, so High West, Prisoner Share, I do recommend it, especially if you've never tried it before. I absolutely would recommend it. 180 is a pricey bottle. I would be comfortable paying 125 for it, but at the same time, rarity, scarcity, and potentially discontinued, it's going to fetch a premium. I believe on the secondary market, it's about $300 to $600 a bottle. So if you're able to get it at MSRP and you just don't want to drink it, there's an opportunity there too. However, just like watches, I like to use or drink, use my watches, wear my watches, drink liquor, and enjoy the things in life. You can't take them to the grave, as they would say. So at the same time, if you're a collector, as we all are, in some way, shape, or form, and this would be a good addition. So yes, cheers on that. Really get the cherry cola in there, and that French oak spice, like it says. But yeah, good. So we'll put this to the side here for a moment. Gonna do the wrist check. This is what we do. It's part of the flex. Part of the flex, in my opinion, for the modern man, a modern beer man, but man in general, is to do away with the Apple Watch and really get yourself like I want to say a man's watch, like a real watch. And now this, if you know about watches, this may or may not be considered a watch. So this is definitely not a Rolex or an Omega or any of those big name brand luxury brands. But however, the MoonSwatch collection was one of the most popular watches sold, made, and purchased in the past 2 years. And I'll give you a close-up here on the camera. So this is the mission to Saturn, as you see Saturn. You have the tachymeter going around. That's infamous about the mission to the moon watch. And I got this NATO strap. This is not the strap that comes with it, because I have a large wrist, and I just don't think the large or the strap fits on a large wrist. And it has the planet on the back of the case right here. So it's really cool. The tachymeter and the chronograph all work. It's a quartz movement. So quartz movement being that it has a battery in it. But then, the rub is when you have a quartz in there, it's always ticking. You don't have to keep setting it. At the same time, you have more accuracy because it's constantly going off the battery and the charge of that. So comfortable, 42 millimeters, about 47 and change on lug to lug. So very light. I don't have the weight on that, but it's super light. It's a bioceramic, and I love Saturn. And the other one that I do like is the Pluto one. I have it stickered in the box. I'm not going to touch it for years to come. Hopefully that these are like the OG Casios that can fetch like a nice price. And one day, if they don't fetch a good price, I can give them to my grandkids. So it's a win-win situation. Then you get something that nobody else will have. But for $270, is it worth it? barely. Barely what I'm saying is, for me, it's kind of a fragile watch where it's bioceramic, it's not sapphire glass, so it can scratch pretty easily. The parts I've seen in videos where they are very delicate. Also, you can get scratches on that too, and it's just not waterproof. 3 bars, 30 meters, and basically, if you're washing dishes or walking in the rain, it may take on water. So you just got to be careful wearing this watch. However, there are some of the watches that are more scarce, like the MoonSwatch, the Mercury watch, excuse me, and the Mission to Neptune, which is the most expensive one, because they had a supposed color dye problem that could go on the skin, and there was color problems. So they stopped production for a big chunk of time, which made it more scarce, which drove up the price. Sometimes it was like $1,000. I wouldn't pay much more for this watch than $270. But however, this is only being sold at a Swatch store right now. And the nearest Swatch store for me that I know about is in Las Vegas. So whatever it costs for me to go to and from Vegas the cheapest way, added on to the price is what I would pay, because that's what you would have to pay to get down there anyways. And I wouldn't pay much more than that. So $350 would be max, is what I would pay. It's not any more than that. So, but really cool watch. Has all the planets, including Pluto as a planet, the moon, and the sun. So if you're ever looking into getting one, I would at least get one. Pick your favorite planet, the sun or the moon, and just get that watch. It's a cool watch. It's a talking piece. It's backed by Omega's Speedmaster that has so much history in it, and it's a good way to step into the watch game without spending thousands of dollars on a watch. There's other watches too that we'll talk about that that you can get in for a good price and get a good quality watch. For example, Seiko and I would say Hamilton would be two that come to mind right now. But enough about that. We'll talk about those in the future. And yeah, awesome watch. So the past couple of years, I've been really getting into watches. I've always been into whiskey, and they have most YouTubers, creators, influencers have this "what your watch says about you," and I thought a cool take would be to do "what your beard says about you." And as you can see, we have Johnny Depp today, and Johnny Depp, as we all know, has played in some pretty iconic movies, from Pirates of the Caribbean to Edward Scissorhands to a whole slew of movies. And when he's wearing his Van Dyke beard, which to me you can only really pull off if you can't grow the full beard like I am right here. And excuse me if you hear a cookie outside barking, the little dog is barking, probably getting her going right now. But yeah, so the Van Dyke, you can see that he's very distinct in the almost goatee, but not quite a goatee. And two things that a Van Dyke beard says to me is that that they are unable to grow a full beard, and they make the best of what they can grow. And for most people, all you can do is grow right here. You can't grow on the cheeks and underneath the jawbone like area. So he does a great job in this, and those people who could do a Van Dyke, this is a great alternative, especially if you have patchy beard growth right here. Two, they can be viewed as focus and of a sophistication of a sort. Also, so many Van Dyke beards try to be well dressed, it seems. Like you got magicians, deceivers, and well dressed in suit looking like people usually go with those beards, or at least that's what way it looks like, at least in the movies. So like I said, we often see them as like magicians or deceivers, because they're able to let people's defenses down, it seems like, because you got that such narrow focus of right here that their clothing really pronounces their character. I think that's the word I'm going for. But so if you can rock a Van Dyke beard, all power to you. I really can't. I know I have a lot of beard hair, but it's going to look funny when I'm having to shave right here all the time or right there all the time to really break it up. I'll be trying way too hard. But most likely, you also have some beautiful hair. I do not have beautiful hair. I did have beautiful hair in my life. At least I think so. But time has come and gone, and I have lost most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. And so I just shave it off. So all power to you. You have both things going for you. Where you have something here, you have a lot of hair up there. So I'm going to stay in my lane. So, but thumbs up Johnny Depp. Probably one of the best Van Dyke beards out there. There's other ones too, but this one really caught my eye to bring to you guys. And for you out there who have a Van Dyke beard or can't grow your cheeks or the sides or whatnot, maybe this might be an opportunity for you to play around with your facial hair to, create your persona this way. Create your persona this way. So next I like to do what I like to call the ingredient spotlight. I think it's really important for us as consumers, for professionals, and just men in general with beards to understand what's in our products and what to look for to make sure it's not in our product. Right now I'm staying on what we should look for in our products. And today I want to talk about sunflower seed oil. Sunflower seed oil is very abundant. It's the fourth leading crop, and it's typically cold pressed. So when you're looking for it, you can find organic or you can find virgin organic. That'll be fine. Cold press is good too. If it says refined for some reason, I would really step away from that because it's not necessary to refine something that doesn't need to be refined because there's an abundance of it. Usually when there's an abundance of something, you're really shaving pennies to try to produce something that is not necessary. And it's native to North America, but however, America is not even in the top 10 of the largest producing countries of sunflower. So back 100 plus years ago, when the Europeans, Spanish all came over here, they brought it back with them because they thought probably the flower would look beautiful. Then it got, migrated over to Russia, and then Russia really took to it. And they start breaking it down, and I believe in Africa, same thing. They start breaking it down into like a herbal and the process of the oil to use it for their skin and maybe their beards, the facial hair, etc., like that. So it does have the best rating of the 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐍𝐿 scale, and which means it will not clog your pores, and because it is thin, it will absorb quickly. And this is important for many reasons. You don't want to have something that's going to clog your pores. You get acne, you get ingrown hairs. You can just get a whole bunch of pollution that hits our skin and beard all the time will get stuck in there too, and that can create some problems like blackheads, etc., like that. So this is going to take care of your body, basically, your skin, and it absorbs quickly, which means that you're going to get all that nutrients right now, and it's not going to have a residue where it's going to, especially if you're like a professional, it's going to get all over your clothes, or if you have a significant other, that it's going to grease them all up. And if you go to sleep, it's not going to get all over your pillow. So it's really important to look for these type of oils if this is an important thing to you to not have the oil actually get on other objects. It has a high level of vitamin E, fatty acids, which helps prevent breakage. Breakage is one of the 2 to 3 most important things in my opinion. One, you want to get rid of that beard itch and get that moisturization that is necessary for everything to grow and all the fatty acids and nutrients to really dig into those roots so you get the best opportunity for your beard. Breakage kind of grows up from there. If you have strong roots, you're going to have strong stem, if you will, from like a tree or a plant, and it will prevent the opportunity for split ends. So split ends also show that you have weak nutrients or not enough nutrients going to your beard. It's also not anti-inflammatory, which provides a good environment for flow of moisturization and blood under your skin, kind of reiterating what I just said. Also, we have, for our products, we have sunflower in a few of our products, but one I like to put front center is our Breaking Beard Oil, which is our everyday beard oil. We have 12 oils in this one to really basically put all the oils that are necessary from root to tip and more in order for your beard to flourish. Doesn't matter what type of beard you have, skin type you have. This is supposed to be a one-all catch-all beard oil, all organic, natural, and cold press. All those above checks all those boxes, and really is, you wear it for a week or two, and you're coming off of a fragrance-based, only 3 oils. Typically, you'll see an average of 3 oils just for the bare minimum to get fragrances in, or essential oils, or other scents in there. When you have 12 in there, you know that you're going to be hitting a home run, that a lot of thought has gone into this beard oil for your beard. So if you haven't tried a Breaking Beard Oil, highly recommend it, not just because it's my company, but I wear it too, and it's a home run in my opinion. So story time. So I'm going to talk about the third coldest time of my life. And the reason why I have 3, they're very, very memorable. And it's something that you cannot ever forget, because the back of your mind. So the first one is when I was in basic training, and I was in Fort Benning, Georgia, training to be an infantryman. And it was about that March, April time. So not quite winter, not quite springtime yet, definitely not summer yet. And about 3 or 4 weeks in, and we're about to do our first bivouac. Hence, if you know our beard products, I have one that's called the Outdoor Bivouac, which is for the outdoorsman. It has natural ingredients, helps keep bugs away from your beard and your face, while also moisturizing your skin and beard so you can tackle the outdoors. Anyhow, we're about to do our first bivouac, and we had a set packing list for our rucksacks, and we could take 3 additional options, and there's a list of the options you could take. And for me, I took at least an extra pair of socks, because for an infantryman, as many will know who can speak to this, you can only go as far as your feet will take you, and you don't want to get them all wet and soggy and cold and everything like that. It can slow you down, frostbite, blisters, the whole 9 yards. So extra pair of socks, and I took 2 other things. I don't remember. All I know is what I didn't take, which we'll talk about. And so we go out and do our missions. We do maybe it was 1 or 2 mile road march to it. And then we did a few missions and everything. And we got towards nighttime. And I was laying down on the ground. Didn't have anything to really lay down on. And I started to feel myself kind of slowly inching in, and wanted to kind of go almost into uh, a child's position, just really get in her and try to stay warm. So I start shivering, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, I don't think this is like that cold out. Me being from Wisconsin, I've been in some really cold weather, but however, it was a different type of cold. I can't explain it. And I was looking around and I was like, so am I the only pussy out here or what's going on? And so I'm looking around and everybody's like shivering and all balled up and everything. I'm like, okay, well, at least I'm not the only one here thinking this right now. And many of these guys that I'm starting to get to know, they're Southern, they're redneck, they're outdoors people. So then we see this one guy, and I believe, I'm not 100% sure because we're starting to get to know people and it's been over 20 years, but I believe it was, at the time, Private Hunt. He had this thing called a whoopee. Pause for a second. Who knows what a whoopee is? You will in a moment. So it's basically a poncho liner. So you got your poncho that can keep the water out. You can use it as basically a shelter roof or to shelter you in from the elements. Well, the poncho can tie to that, or it can also provide shelter also in itself, but it's not waterproof per se. It'll keep you warm. Combined with each other, you can stay warm and waterproof. Highly water resistant proof, if that is even a phrase. And we were able to get at least 15 people under this almost 7x7 whoopee, as you can see right here. And I also learned a new thing called spooning. And this is not a dirty underground German thing that I'm talking about. It's just when you are so cold that when you're touching another human being like side by side, and somebody's side by side with you, you kind of create this coil, if you will, of heat. Lucky for us, we had this whoopee on top of us. Feet were out, but the rest of the body was in, and trying to stay warm. And I don't think I had any sleep that night. Didn't know if I was going to wake up because I was so cold. I was shivering the whole time. And needless to say, I shit you not, from that day forward, as soon as I got to the PX, which is the store on base, I bought myself a whoopee. I had a packing list. I would find a way to take anything out of besides toilet paper, water, ammo, and a weapon, nothing came before my whoopee. My whoopee was going to be on that pack list every time. To this day, I have a whoopee in my bedroom, in my camper, and one to take if we're going to go on a long trip and it's cold. So, have you ever used a whoopee before or a poncho liner? I love to hear your stories. I'm sure you have many stories. I also have read when I was in the military, when I was reading a book about Rangers and everything, that there was an incident where they were doing a river crossing or a rope crossing, and they crossed a river, and they were really cold. It was like 20 to 30 degrees, and it was right on the teeter of if they had to call it or not. And when they got to their side, they would wrap themselves up in their poncho liners, and somehow the body tries to produce heat, and the body at the same time produces heat. It self dries itself, and it evaporates through the poncho, and I wouldn't say you get completely dry, but you get dried off. And I thought it was cool. I haven't tried it before. I hope I never have to try it, because then you're in a bad situation at that time. But yeah, poncho liner whoopee, highly recommend it. If you've never purchased one or you'd like to see what I'm talking about, head I get mine at Ranger Joe's online, which is in Georgia, or you can go to a surplus store and you can grab one too. There's many different iterations of it, camouflage, but anyways, they all work the same. So, whoopee for life. To close it out here, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. I know it's cold across the country, so try to stay warm. Also, try to have fun if you can. And a life is short, and if you get a chance to get a prisoner share, highly recommend trying at least a shot if you're going to a bar and they have it on the shelf. If you get an MSRP, I'd highly suggest it. The MoonSwatch, pick one, get one. Get into it. Get into the wristwatch club. Put aside that smartwatch. If you're gonna get a smartwatch, I'd only use it for exercise. Honestly, I'd use it for exercising. You don't need all those distractions and pings off your wrists that is just gonna drive you extra nuts during the day. And sunflower seed oil. It's not the only oil that does what it does, but this one is an oil that does it really efficiently, and there's an abundance of it. So see if sunflower seed oil is in your oil to help prevent breakage and to give you the vitamin E and the fatty acids that your beard needs to grow strong. And I'd love to hear what your coldest, what the coldest day of your life is. And those are always interesting stories. And I still have 2 more to share here in the next upcoming episodes before the winter's done. So stay tuned to that. And if you can outdo me, I would love to hear it. So anyhow, have a great weekend. Check us out Sunday, 8 a.m. A Cup with Joe and Dakota. And we would love for you to continue on having your beard make a statement. In order to do so, I recommend going to KILTBeardCompany.com and checking out our products. And hopefully we can continually improve your beard so that you have the best beard possible. Other than that, I'm kind of delaying the inevitable. Have a great weekend. Peace.